much. My name is Sheillah Simiyu. I am from Kenya and I work with the African Population and Health Research Center. I think by the time I was applying for the program, I didn't know much about the African Science Leadership Program. I had just graduated, I think, the year before. So I was really out there to look for opportunities that would give me growth per se in research and in leadership. So when I came across the advert, what I expected was something to do with how do I become a good leader and how do I grow my research skills. And I think because at that time I needed to network, I also was looking forward to networking. How did that pan out in the meeting itself? All my expectations were met. I didn't know that I would even be selected to be an alumni and to be a mentor in the cohort that followed, which I was selected, and that was a good thing. I must say I really enjoyed the sessions we had. They were great facilitators. There were lots of people that we interacted with. The facilitators actually gave me an opportunity to sit back, think, meet new friends, make new friends, and I think even up to now, I still think about some of the friends I made, and we still don't keep in touch a lot, but I have a few that I met and we kept in touch, and it's always usually very joyous meeting everyone again. So during the training was, for me, it was more, I think I should call it like more discovering myself, discovering the opportunities that I would tap into, that I could explore. And after, there was more discovery and challenge, good challenge, if I may say, to carry on with what I had learned. I have since moved organizations, but everywhere I go, I still am in that space of being a research leader. And so the lessons have been with me throughout this time of my career. One, I think it was the first time, no, it was almost like the second time I was coming across the elevator pitch. So that for me was an opportunity to remind me about if I was to tell someone about my research idea in 3 minutes or in an elevator. That was one. The second thing was having that booklet where I would write everything, like reflect on what I had learned during the day and every day write. The third part was I think we had a session where we had to go into different sessions and sit and write about memorable lifetime events. I think that was one of those that made me look back and say, wow, I actually didn't know that some of these moments in my life have shaped how I am right now. And I also remember that very well because I was in a pair with a friend, and it was very nice sharing these moments. We used to write things on sticky notes and put them in our booklets, and we would exchange. And I think after that session, we were all silent for like a minute, just taking in what we had written and what we had thought about. Yeah, that was very heartfelt. And then another thing was the sessions we had with the facilitators. I think for me, both as a participant and as a mentor, I remember there were people who had brilliant ideas. One thing I remember we did was we had to paint. And I'm not a good painter. I just had to come up with something. But the beauty of it is that everything that we painted still came up beautifully as a very beautiful painting. And then lastly, there was that video that we showed that we thought or reflected about how a leader is. And it was a video of a man dancing to some music. He was at first alone, and then with time, everybody joined in and he left. I think that lesson has stuck with me for a long time because even up to now, I still think about a leader is someone who initiates something and others grow with it. And you don't necessarily have to be there throughout the end. For as long as you started something, then the rest and you've given others the opportunity and the ability to grow it, then you don't have to stay. Then you can leave and do something else. So immediately after, I went back to my organization, and I think we were tasked with the responsibility to come up with a project. So during that one time, I was able to put those skills to work and almost like lead or train younger researchers in my organization at the time. When I came back as a mentor, I had the opportunity to work with others, listen to their ideas. And at that time, I had transitioned to another organization. The transitioning was good because I took the lessons with me to this other organization. The good thing is that where I was starting afresh. It's almost like I was starting the leadership journey afresh. Over the years, the skills, like I said, that was almost like my first leadership training. But over the years, the skills have really been beneficial, especially in the new organization. I have grown a team, and now I understand better what it means to be a leader. For example, I've given the example of the person who was dancing to some music and later on leaves the party and everybody else joins. I have now learned, or I continuously think about, how do I build the capacity of others? And I don't necessarily have to be there, but I make sure that I have built their capacity and they're able to continue with whatever we started. And because I'm in a research organization, the leadership program has helped me think about, how do I build researchers or research leaders who are in the space that I work with. So the effect that I've seen a couple of years later is that, of course, I've had to constantly remind myself through this training and other training, but I understand people better. I know how to work with different personalities, and I know how to relate with the needs that people have, and to focus on what do I need to strengthen in each individual that I work with. Therefore, I'm saying I'm always conscious of the fact that one style of leadership does not apply to everybody. So I'm able to think about what I apply for each person that I work with. There's the African, there's the science, and there's the leader. So a leader, like I've mentioned, is for me, how I have seen it, is a person who is able to start something, taking from that video, start something and encourage others to join and let it grow. Science leadership, I think it's about growing our science, growing the kind of science that we do. And so this is a person who is, for lack of a better word, based in Africa and is working on growing the scientific ability or scientific skills of others within where they work or within the African continent, so that we're able to tackle African problems with an African touch. I wish everybody, or most of the scientists in Africa, would think about not just research, but the other soft skills of science leadership, so that we think about how do we grow the capacity and build the capacity of African science leaders, or science leaders within the African continent. Two, I would also pass a message to people who come across such training to grab the opportunity. I feel like I want to say there is never an end to learning, and there's always something that one gets every time. For me, who has been a fellow and a mentor, every time I went back to for this leadership program, I learned something new. And you can imagine that I had done the program and I went back, but there was always something new that I learned every time. So I would encourage everyone, if you have the opportunity, apply and who knows, that would be the beginning of your leadership journey. Exciting, life-changing, mind-opening.